other Republican presidential candidates historically have done. Is that good enough for you?
Well, we'd like to see him do it right now. I mean, obviously, the people of South Carolina, it really doesn't help them. And my point is, look, in September, it's too late to be firing a nominee. We'll have our nominee. Matter of fact, April, this thing may be close to being over with. Who knows? But letting people take a look at how you made your money, what your tax rate is, how you've been functioning. And, he's running as an astute businessman, so I would think that his P&L would be a pretty good thing for the people of South Carolina to take a look at and see if he's as good a businessman as he says he is.
He says most of his income nowadays is from investments, and that's taxed at 15%. Is there anything wrong with that?
Look, the issue is not how and what, and the real issue is just let us take a look at it. And people of South Carolina and America are smart enough to figure out whether it's right or not. Transparency is a big deal. It's the reason I've let my income tax be public for decades now.
Because you were criticized when you released your income tax return for double dipping, getting a second salary, if you will, even as a full-time employee of the state of Texas. So you've heard that criticism.
Oh, yes, sir. And it's the same criticism, I guess, that someone would give a veteran who served 20 years and then would be working for the government. You earn it, and the Bible says that you're worse than an infidel if you don't take care of your family. So I earn my retirement and continue to earn my salary as well. So I don't have a problem in the world with that.
Did you hear your fellow Texan Carl Rove criticize you on the Today Show on that specific issue, double dipping?
Oh, no, but, Carl is Carl, and I frankly don't pay a lot of attention to that. I'm focused on South Carolina. They're the people that I'm most interested in today.
You caused a stir at the debate last night when you spoke about Turkey, and I'll play the clip for those of our viewers who did not hear what you said about Turkey. Listen to this.
Obviously, when you have a country that is being ruled by what many would perceive to be Islamic terrorists, when you start seeing that type of activity against their own citizens, then yes, not only is it time for us to have a conversation about whether or not they belong to be in NATO, but it's time for the United States, when we look at their foreign aid, to go to zero with it.
All right, the Turkish Foreign Ministry issued a statement today. In part, I'll read it to you. They said, Turkey became a member of NATO when the governor was just 2 years old. Turkey has been among the frontline countries in the fight against terrorism. The United States has no time to lose with such candidates who do not even know America's allies. Did you misspeak last night? You ready to revise your comments?
No, not at all. A country that allowed 140 to 160 honor killings in 2011. I will tell you, that is not a country that America wants to be associating with. A country that referred to the Israel flotilla attack as an act of war. I mean, this is a country that is becoming more and more aggressive to a true American ally in that area, and that is Israel. So the idea that Erdogan's regime has somehow or another earned our respect is not correct. And I think, my wife works for the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault. And it's these types of activities, particularly against women, that is I lived in Turkey in the 70s. I visited there in the 80s and again back in the 2000s. So the idea that this country has moved from its pro-Western stance that Ataturk put into place into today where, I will tell you, I don't think Americans want their foreign aid going to a country that allows for honor killing of women. And that is a real issue that we need to deal with as the United States and our foreign aid. From my perspective, Turkey hadn't earned our trust when they're doing that to their own citizens.
But the U.S. barely provides any military or economic assistance to Turkey right now. Their economy is pretty good. But on this specific issue of Erdogan and the other Turkish leaders right now, you say they are in your words, Islamic terrorists? Are you really saying that?
I said that if they are treating their citizens that way, that they approach that terminology. I mean, when you allow for honor killings, Wolf, I mean, I hope you're not defending honor killings as an appropriate act in any country, much less a country that we send foreign aid to. And we do send foreign aid to that country. I think some $4 billion. That's not just a drop in the bucket.
$4 billion in what? In this fiscal year? Is that what you're saying?
No, $4 billion in the last few years, and I think $7 billion on the military side of things. But the fact is, if we send any money to a country, Wolf, let me ask you: are you sitting here and defending the act of honor killing?
No, I'm not. Of course, I'm not. That's horrible and disgusting, and people who do that should be punished. But I believe the Turkish government isn't defending it either. It happens in Turkey. It happens in Egypt. It happens in a lot of Islamic countries. But they're not supporting that. No one defends that except for Islamic extremists.
That is the reason. That is the reason that I've called for going to zero on this foreign aid to these countries. That the idea that we've got U.S. dollars going into countries that allow these types of atrocities to occur. And it's my understanding as well that women who go to the state for protection are not getting those protections. So this is a country that's got some explaining to do to the United States.
So you would want to see Turkey no longer a member of NATO? Is that what you're saying?
I think we need to have the conversation with them. Listen, if they want to be our ally, I will tell you, myself and I think a lot of Americans, as we look at countries like Pakistan, as we look at countries like Turkey, that on one hand they want to send us the money. We want your money, but then their activities are either anti-American or they're committing atrocities against their own people. I mean, is that the kind of people that we want to be siding with? I mean, I understand it's a complicated world out there, but to sit back and to accept these things, Americans are ready for some strong language and some strong actions. This president that we've got today has such a muddled foreign policy. I mean, I think one of the reasons that you see the Middle East in such an uproar is because America is not injecting itself, and we're not putting our interest, and for that matter, the interest of American people into these countries. So I don't have a problem at all with what I said, and I think Turkey's got to decide whether they want to be a country that projects those Western values that America is all about.
One final question: how are you going to do on Saturday night?
The best we can. We're making lots of stops, and the crowds are big, and they're enthusiastic, and Lord willing, we'll do well and continue on.
Good luck, Governor. We'll see you on the campaign trail.
Wolf, we'll see you out there. Godspeed.